Every weekday, 8:30 sharp, the 13A city bus stops in the heart of downtown Pittsburgh. Off steps Ruth Dietz, a legal secretary and young grandmother. As she walks the few blocks to her office, her head is focused on documents and date books, but her heart is half a world away in Kenya, Africa.
I do work all day, and I do come home and work all evening, and we work on the weekends, but there's so much joy and fulfillment in knowing that you are making a difference in the life of somebody.
This love affair with Africa begins in 2001 when Ruth's teenage daughter Christy signed up for a mission trip that needed more adult leadership. That trip took both to a remote, impoverished village called Buteri.
I knew immediately when I arrived there that I was meant to be there, and that I would return. I knew that there was my heart was there was work to be done, and the needs were great, but also the joy was great in the faces that I saw, and I knew that it was where I needed to be. And so I tell people sometimes that first mission trip for me never ended. It was 5 years ago, but it never really ended. It's just been a continuation of that first trip.
So she returns time and time again, bringing people with her, taking them out of their comfort zones and into areas under the shadow of AIDS and life-threatening poverty. Ruth plans the trips and runs her nonprofit organization called Rainbow Christian Missions out of a spare bedroom in her home. The work depends on her close relationship with Bishop Richard Ongudi.
I work things from this end, he works things from that end, and it just really clicks. You know, I do feel like he's my brother. He calls me sister.
So, with the confidence of that relationship, Ruth and her husband Chubb will take 19 people on 2 mission trips. We'll follow the group through 3 needy areas in Kenya.
I am always amazed to see where the team members come from and how they show up.
Dentist Melanie Morrow found out about the mission trip through one of her patients, the boss of Ruth Dietz.
He faxed me over the information, and I looked at it, and it really, of course, immediately just went right to my heart. I was like, wow, this sounds like a great adventure.
So Melanie will leave behind the drills and electricity to extract teeth in Africa.
My kids laugh because I told them I always wanted to be either a policeman or a lumberjack. I did end up being a policeman, so here I am, 51 years old, and pretty much in the same place that I grew up, and had the same job for almost 27 years now, and I guess that's a little bit unusual these days. I really couldn't tell you why Africa. I mean, this just came up. Ruth asked me, and the time just seemed to be right.
Are you ladies enjoying your lunch? You enjoying your lunch, Mary? Probably the things I enjoy the most are my interactions with the residents. I love geriatric nursing. You look so pretty. I remember telling people, someday when I retire, I'm doing that Kenya mission trip. And I was at, I believe it was a Bible study, and someone said to me, why wait? Why wait? You don't know what's going to happen down the road. Go now. Good job.
Okay. Get in.
For 3 weeks, this stay-at-home mom is trading in suburbia for sub-Saharan Africa.
I've long wanted to travel to Africa. If you feel that strongly about going, you should go. And that's what Ruth said to me too, is if you have that strong of a calling, you need to go.
One of the first people we saw that showed up was someone who was carrying this fella in a wheelbarrow. He couldn't walk. We learned through interpreters that they had traveled 10 miles that day in this wheelbarrow to bring this fella in.
Carl Weicker was part of the mission team in 2004 with his daughter Amy. Carl used his passion for photography to document the work and leave behind cherished family photographs. This father-daughter journey began with Amy wanting a mission trip as her high school graduation present.
The first thing I learned is that I may be older than she is, but sometimes she shows me the way.
Come here, sit. As soon as I got back the first time, I knew that I had to go back. I'm going to be teaching English to students at the Buteri Miracle Academy. Can you shake?
Carl, who is an accountant, plans to check out Kenyan businesses that received loans through a new program he designed.
I want to understand better the businesses that are getting the types of loans that we're offering, so I can come back and here to Pittsburgh and explain to people that I saw I was there. I saw the loan participants face to face. I talked with them. This is how these loans help.
We have everything, right?
Each team member escorts 2 bags, one for personal items, the second stuffed full of medicine and medical equipment. All bags push the 50-pound weight limit. After 32 hours of travel, Ruth Dietz will be waiting to greet us on the ground in Africa. After spending the night in the modern city of Nairobi, the mission team steps off the school bus into another world.
Walking into Kibera takes your breath away.
I don't think anyone could have been prepared to walk into Kibera slum. I don't think anybody in their wildest imagination can understand the extent of the poverty. And looking at their shops and how they lived, far worse than I ever expected.
There was probably part of me thinking, you know, what the heck am I doing here? Everywhere we went, we had kids following us and wanting to hold your hand.
But all the kids are standing there saying, "Hello, how are you? How are you?" They're all smiling and they seem so happy to see us. Just never expected anything like that.
There's kids out there that are 2, 3, 4 years old that nobody's really watching or caring about.
The sewage is just always what has blown my mind because it's human waste running through in front of someone's house, through someone's yard. Kids are playing in human waste. This is in the world, this is going on. What's wrong with this picture?
It was just horrific to believe and that I was in there. And it's not a movie set, it's for real.
The problems here in Kibera can seem overwhelming. More than 1 million people live in a small geographical area in unsanitary conditions. No sewage treatment, no running water, no garbage collection. That's what these kids face every day. Undaunted, Ruth guides her team with a smile into a dark church with dirt floors in the center of Kibera.
And even to be a blessing to the people. I think we'll just remember what we said yesterday. We'll stay basic.
We could never have done it without the Kenyan doctors. They were godsends. We didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know tropical diseases. The medications were in Swahili, and we were trying to figure out what the equivalent was in America.
The team uses anything or anyone on hand. Medicine goes into used water bottles or paper envelopes.
Just write expect on it.
Chelsea Holmes, a high school student, holds the master list of medicine.
So we'll register you first. And so what we need is baby's name. You know, when it's a baby like that, you probably should also make a note of the mother's name. Okay. And your last name?
Awinja.
Awinja? A-W? A-W-I. Yeah, you're good. Just take the A out. Okay.
Swahili is the national language in Kenya. People who have been educated can also speak English, but the accent takes a while to understand.
I think we're going to need a translator here to help with names. Okay, so we're trying to get her name.
Hadija. Hadija.
H-A-D.
15 minutes from pharmacy.
So he's not eating. Is he getting enough water?
Ruth is connecting with Judith Awinja, the sister of a boy Ruth has supported for years. Judith has brought in a very sick baby named Ferdinand. They were turned away from the hospital because the family couldn't afford treatment.
He's breathing fast. Well, as soon as they start, he's number one. We truthfully didn't think that he would make it, and neither did his mom.
In fact, Judith has given up hope and has come seeking funds so she can travel home to bury her baby. The line grows. People wait patiently, holding a ripped piece of notebook paper that becomes their medical chart, the corner, their call number.
13, no 13, Faith. Faith.
The downtime gives everyone a chance to get to know each other.
I definitely thought I connected with people. Love is a language that everybody knows.
In a dark corner, Dr. Wafula Nazwa examines baby Ferdinand. As he listens to the labored breathing, he suspects pneumonia. The doctor orders free antibiotics, but insists the baby needs a confirmed diagnosis.
How long has this been going on? 1 year. Many of these people had never received any health care. We may have been the first health care people they'd ever seen, certainly the first ones they've ever taken their children to.
Okay.
On his lungs are clear, I guess it's just...
This is amoxil. This is an antibiotic, I think, for the baby.
As Judith prepares to leave, Ruth sends her off with prayers and money for the baby's hospital care.